Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us and nerding out. I am your host, Zach, with my co-host,
Movie Master Jaye.
We're here to nerd out with you people and talk about the news that's happening this week. I'll talk about some personal things that touch our hearts. Nerd out with us. If you like, please like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Get this out to the world. Nerd out, people. Nerd out. So, starting out with our topics at hand. What should we talk about first?
Actually, we'll do this. Okay. I'll start this off. So, a few years ago, Disney, the money-making machine that they are, they bought Lucasfilm. And what Lucasfilm was, they bought Skywalker Studios. They bought everything that was with Lucasfilm. So they bought this little thing, this little franchise that they had Star Wars. Had a little bit of success. You ever heard of it before?
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of it.
It was just a small little bitty thing.
Yeah.
But they've decided to continue on with that whole franchise. Well, so we hope that makes money. But
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
but included in Lucasfilm was the Indiana Jones franchise.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was. The Indiana Jones franchise. So the talk this week, though, is that they may be rebooting that franchise using a man who's hot right now. He's hot. I mean, if you go near him, you're probably going to get burned. Okay, he's that hot right now. Mm-hmm. And Chris Pratt. So my question for you is that where do you think they could go with that? Where would you like to see them use Chris Pratt?
See, Chris Pratt, I think he's good. I liked him in Guardians of the Galaxy. I saw him back in the day when he was on Everwood. Mm-hmm. Saw him when he was on Wanted. He's a dude who got smacked in the face with that keyboard. He was the one dude bumping his friend's girl and everything. So he's got some talent. He's good. He's very quippy. He's very quick with his comebacks and things like that. But I guess that's my thing when I think of him as Indiana Jones. I don't think of Chris Pratt. Mm-hmm. Harrison Ford, when he was a guy he was like your everyman. He was somebody that's like, that's a dude I could run across in the street, on the bus, or in a diner, or somewhere else that you might run into people in your day-to-day life.
He was just that regular guy, right?
Because people don't really go to diners or take the bus anymore. Someone you might run into on an Uber, I guess, or something. Like, I don't know. Anyways, on an Uber. But so Guardians of the Galaxy was really good, but it was basically Indiana Jones in space, and I don't want to watch an Indiana Jones movie where it's just in Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not in space. It's like those don't go hand in hand. I want my movie to be similarly to Indiana Jones.
Okay, so you're talking about him being the quick-witted, just quick with a comeback type guy. Was he that way in those other shows? Because, again, I've only seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy. All I know him as is Star-Lord. That's it.
I mean, in Everwood, he was kind of like the antagonist, so he was kind of a jerk. He wasn't really like the quick-witted guy that he is. I know he's in Parks and Rec, and I know that's where he gets a lot of his comedy prowess from, or what a lot of people give him a lot of credit from. I know he was in Zero Dark 30, which I never saw him in. I'm going off a very limited spectrum of what he's been in, but I still think he can do it, but I have a thought.
Okay.
And just a thought. So, Indiana Jones 4, I know we don't want to go back to those dark, dark times. So bear with me.
That lives in the same space as Rocky 5, just so you know.
I know. Just remember what your therapist said. Just take deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Woosah.
Okay. So, Indiana Jones 4, he had a son, Shia LaBeouf. Now, we're going to pretend like Shia LaBeouf is dead. We're going to erase his name.
Okay.
We're going to write Chris Pratt's name. And so, we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do is, what if they continue off of that movie? So, in that movie, it was set like 60s time frame. I remember there was some greasers in a diner. There was an actual diner then. There was buses too. No Ubers. And so there was like greasers kind of guys. So I would assume he's probably in his early 20s. Say 20s. Okay. So we fast forward, put that another 15 years, put Chris Pratt in his like 35s, 40s range. Uh-huh. That should put you at, anywhere between 70 to 80, roughly speaking. Mm-hmm. That will put you in the Cold War era. And Indiana Jones is loving themselves some Nazis. They love some Nazis. So instead of some Nazis, why don't we put it in the Cold War? Replace Nazis with commies. You know, kind of.
Okay.
It's similar.
So you're talking about him going to Russia.
Not necessarily Russia, because you know the great thing about the Cold War is that it was everywhere. Vietnam, you know, one of those Slavia nations. Yeah, you know, that ends in Slavia.
Yeah, or, Yugoslavia, all them people.
Romania,
like that.
Just anything that ends with an A out there, except Canada, because that was over here.
China was a part of that.
Yeah, China. See, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah. Cuba.
Yeah,
there we
go.
Cuba.
Yeah. Vietnam. But North Korea.
There you go. See?
So all these countries, they're all over the place. So you could fit Russia pretty much anywhere, you know, and it'll work. And the nice thing is if you put in the Cold War, they're all over the place. There's during that espionage era. So he can run into the CIA. It's just a lot more diversity. And you just throw, I don't care what treasure he chased. Shangri-La, El Dorado, some made-up treasure with no alien's head, though. That's all I ask. Yeah. No alien's head.
No alien's head.
Been there, done that. But, you know, just something new. And then kind of, you know, hopefully they don't show him like this big masculine guy. But maybe he does. Maybe he's, you know, a younger guy, different era. But it's nice you get kind of a different thing. Now, my only problem with this is I know Hollywood. This is what Hollywood's going to do to my brilliant idea of putting in the Cold War. Because it's going to be set in the 70s era, they're going to give him a token black guy.
Oh, God.
They're going to give him a token black guy. Every time it's set in the 70s, there's a token black guy. There's always a token black guy. They already did the token Asian guy, token old guy.
Short round.
They did
Sean Connery.
You know, they did the token woman friend.
Yeah.
You know, so what? I mean, now then they have the token lost son. You know, there's a lot of tokens already, so they might as well go to the token black guy. That's the one thing. There hasn't
been a black guy in there yet. There hasn't been a black guy in that franchise
just
yet.
do a token black guy at this point, you know?
Might as well.
I mean, you know, so, I mean, granted, if they're going to do that, I think what they should do for the token black guy, because they will have a token black guy, is to have as a token black Brandon T. Jackson. Brandon T. Jackson is your token black guy.
That wouldn't be bad. I mean, Brandon T. Jackson, he's had his good and he had his bad. Mostly bad. Mostly bad for Brandon T. Jackson.
No, well,
we're not going to talk about everything.
I didn't watch all those Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah, well, he's not in the Tyler Perry movies.
Close enough.
Yeah, he's not in the Tyler Perry. But if you watch Lottery Ticket, you know, he's...
He wasn't that bad in that.
He was horrible in that.
Lottery Ticket is what I call a barbershop movie.
Yes, exactly.
That is something when you go to a barbershop, like a black man's barbershop.
That is.
You go to a black man's barbershop, people have that on TV with barbershop.
That's a BET movie, okay?
That's
exactly what it is. It's a BET movie.
Exactly.
You know, but there's Roll Bounce he was in.
I like Roll Bounce.
Of course you liked Roll Bounce.
I did.
I love the music in Roll Bounce.
Of course you did.
I love the music. I mean, I love Megan.
You know what it was like when they're like, we have a brand new single from Ice, Fire, Wind, or whatever they're called.
Hey, don't you ever disrespect the elements of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I got close.
Okay. You know.
I just reorganized them.
And then you had, the third Big Mama, which was Big Mama's house.
I don't even acknowledge that
exists. Like father, like son. See, yeah, exactly.
I don't even acknowledge that exists.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's why that happens. So, no.
But
he was in Tropic Thunder. I've never actually watched Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is where I actually got where he grabbed my attention, and then I was like, okay, this dude's good. I have a lot of respect for him. He has talent. It's just you have to find the right guy. Mm-hmm. You got to find the right kind of movie. You do. And I think Indiana Jones would be a good opportunity for him because he could. I think what is he like in his 30s now?
He's in his late 20s. I think he's in his early 30s. But you know what? I think for him, that would be a good thing. But you know what? You're not expecting a lot out of him in that movie.
Maybe.
You're just expecting him to be there. You know what I mean? You're just expecting him to give you a couple of quips, entertain you a little bit, and you're not expecting a lot out of him. So you're right. Brandon T. Jackson may be a decent pick for that if they do the token black guy, which they're probably going to do if they decide to reboot that franchise.
He's 30.
He's 30.
Also, fun fact, he's from
Detroit.
Michigan.
Yeah, he's from Michigan. I could have told you that.
I didn't know he was from Detroit. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. Anyway, so I mean, I'm definitely interested. Mm-hmm. And, in the Indiana Jones movie, like I said, I'm just not convinced. I'm not sure. Granted, Disney hasn't really shown what they can do with any of these franchises. You got that small teaser with the soccer ball droid, but that's really about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I am excited for that movie, but still, you know, you watch the Phantom Menace trailer, and everyone said the same thing. Oh, that's going to be so great. And then you watch Attack of the Clones trailer. Oh, that's going to be so great. And then you watch Revenge of the Sith. Oh, my God, that's going to be so great. Not everyone thought the same thing afterwards. You know, I don't.
That's for damn sure.
I have a qualms with those movies. I think they're the worst. But, you know, I definitely have some qualms with that movie. So,
yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm going to hold out my judgment about him actually playing Indiana Jones until I see Jurassic World. Once I see Jurassic World, maybe I'll gain a little bit more knowledge about Chris Pratt himself, so that way I can actually, you know, give my good little analyst, or, you know, analyze how he could actually play Indiana Jones. But yeah. I'm hoping they just actually reboot the entire franchise if they go with Chris Pratt, just to give Indy a brand new spin, a brand new look.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer they reboot the franchise. You prefer that they move, you know, continue on with another sequel. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You just never know. So, another interesting thing, speaking of which, with the 80s, so the Ghostbusters movie, the reboot, came about, and it was announced to be an all-female cast, which was kind of rumored a while ago, and it's pretty much just bridesmaids chasing down ghosts. It's basically the whole Bridesmaids cast, for the most part, even, you know, and they're hunting ghosts. So, to run down it, so we have Melissa Carthy, who you might know from Gilmore Girls, The Heat,
Mike and
Molly, Identity Theft, or Thief.
Yeah.
So some of those, you got Kristen Wiig, you might know from little movie Bridesmaids. She was some voices in Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2.
She's also an SNL alumni. Yeah,
she's an SNL chick. So she's in a bunch of stuff. I don't have enough time to go through her whole filmography. Then we have Kate McKinnon. She's kind of a little bit more of one of the lower key people. She's one of the 2 lower key people in this. Again, she was not in Bridesmaids, but she is a huge SNL person. She's been on there for about 3 years, it looks like. So, I mean, she's got some decent credits here. Nothing, you might know her from something here or there. But like I said, the biggest thing is SNL. And lastly, we have Leslie Jones, which you might know her from SNL.
She's a new member to SNL this season.
She just started this last season, and she's also been in a couple of shows. She's in
a couple of small little movies. She was in Lottery Ticket. She was in National Security. She hasn't been in anything. She's nothing major. She's always had some little cop-out role. Yeah. Hell, I don't even think you see her name on the opening credits when they run them. So
how do you feel about this cast? Anyone about this that you think are going to really shine? Anyone about this cast that you think are really going to go out?
Melissa McCarthy is going to steal the show. She is. She has that energy, man. She has that energy. She has that pop. She has that character. She just has it. Yeah. You know, she doesn't shy away from who she is. I love her. I love her to death, man. I didn't think the movie Identity Thief was going to be any good whatsoever. I chose not to even look at it until I was at home one day watching HBO. I said, you know what? I'm going to watch this stupid-ass movie because I don't really care about it. And she cracked me up. I mean, I watched her on Mike and Molly. I love her on Mike and Molly. I love her playing Molly. She is hilarious. I think she's going to light up the screen even more. She lit it up with Sandra Bullock in The Heat. She's lit it up on Mike and Molly. Bridesmaids, she stole the show. I can't wait for her to see it. I'm just curious on what character she would play. I think she's going to be the Bill Murray style character. You know, I think that's what she's going to be. Interesting enough, you talked about how you would like to see Indiana Jones, you know, wipe out 4, you know, forget that Shia LaBeouf played his son in 4, and have Chris Pratt play his son in this next Indiana movie, if they're going to do it. I would like to see this as a sequel instead of a reboot. See it as a sequel instead of a reboot, and these young women are taking on what their fathers did. Because all of them, every last character from the first one, from the first Ghostbusters, you know, you have Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. Every last one of them are old enough to have women these ages, have daughters these age. no matter what they are. So I would like to see that.
Yeah.
See them do it as a sequel instead of a reboot.
I mean, we talked about 80s reboots on episode 2, Nostalgia. It's on YouTube now. Watch it now. We talked about it a little bit. You wanted a different world.
Yes.
Or something.
That's my show.
I wanted a Ferris Bueller reboot. These 2 reboots, honestly, as big of a cult following as they have, this isn't really something that I want right now. Yeah, it's just, Ghostbusters to me, like, I've never really been wanting a sequel. I've never, I needed a sequel right now. Well, I was never really, dying to know what's going on with those characters. And even more so now that it's, further and further on, I see this as kind of being like a reboot sequel. So what's going to happen is it's going to basically run the same gamut. These 3 white women are going to go try to find a place to live or probably try to find a place to start a business. Okay? They're going to go to that building that the Ghostbusters went in. They're going to go in there. Man. Yeah, they're going to go in the firehouse. It's probably going to be abandoned or something to some effect. And they're going to run across it. They're going to find a bunch of crap. A ghost is going to pop out. They're going to discover the stuff. They're going to screw around with it, catch them, and be like, oh, crap. Then they're going to find business cards. They're going to read about it, and it's going to start them up on the whole ghost busting routine. That's probably what's going to happen. And then, of course, one of the biggest things, and it's not so much against her, but the black chick, she's black.
Yeah, she's the black chick.
And I think that's my problem.
What's wrong with the black chick, man?
I'm not saying anything wrong with black people. I love black people. I love black people. But
no Jerry Maguire moment there.
But I'm not saying that. But Hollywood has a tendency, back in the day, to just throw token black guys or token black people in films. It was just a thing that they did. In 2015, you don't do that. It's either you just cast people to cast them. And I feel like you're going down the same trend. You got 3 white people and 1 black person. I don't want Leslie Jones to be this token black lady where, these 3 girls are saying something and she come out of nowhere like, oh my goodness, I can't believe there be a ghost over there. I don't know why I went super, hick Southern on that one.
Yeah,
that was not...
That was like redneck, man.
That wasn't my best black
That wasn't
lady.
even like Southern black. That was just like redneck right
there. That wasn't my best black lady impression.
Okay, I'm a little worried about her character, but I don't see her character playing the same role that Ernie Hudson played. I see her character being maybe the scientist person of it. That's what I would like to see her play, the scientist role. That's what I would like to see her play. Instead of being the token black guy like Ernie Hudson was in the first 2 Ghostbuster movies, let her be something different. Yeah. So that way you don't fall into that whole, Hollywood realm or Hollywood regime or stereotype where she's the token black chick.
I mean, it would definitely be nice. We're definitely talking about a lot of tokens on this episode for sure. But I mean, I think Melissa McCarthy, she's going to be that Bill Murray character. She's going to be the smart ass. She's going to be the difficult one. But like I said, we'll see. I mean, we haven't really seen any material out of it. It's being directed by the guy that did Bridesmaids, so hopefully it's funny. Only thing I want that dry humor. I want that dry humor. I love Ghostbusters for the dry humor. And, I haven't seen Bridesmaids, but when I have seen, it's very much obvious humor. You know when they're making a joke, and you know when you think you're supposed to laugh. Whereas, to me, Ghostbusters was that kind of subtle humor where you could laugh at anything. There wasn't, a specific part that you needed to laugh at. There were a couple Bill Murray moments, a couple Dan Aykroyd moments where they were making a joke to make someone laugh. But they were so subtle and so natural, I don't think it was as big of a deal.
Yeah.
So
we'll hold out. We'll hold out and see what's coming up. And see a trailer and see what happens there. Speaking of trailers, a trailer dropped this week.
Yes, it did.
This is going to be a heated discussion or a heated topic. Maybe not by me.
It's going to be something.
But Fantastic Four finally released a trailer for their 2015 reboot.
Ladies and gentlemen, it exists.
It is happening. It is going to happen. They have released the trailer for Fantastic Four, scheduled to come out in August. Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't have any high hopes for this movie whatsoever.
You were the negativest of negative Nancy's.
Oh, yeah. I watched the first 2. And the only good thing about the first two was Jessica Alba in a tight suit. That was it. There was nothing else excitable about those movies. I'm like, hell, how is this Mr. Fantastic? He's stretching, and why do his clothes keep stretching with him when he's not wearing the suit?
But they said that because he, his suit was exposed by the same.
He was not wearing the suit.
I think he was wearing it underneath or something.
No.
Right?
In the second one, when he's in that club doing why. That's just like when that was just like when Spider-Man 3 when he was doing that damn dance routine. And Fantastic Four 2, he's doing a damn dance routine. Why? I don't know. He does a dance routine and his clothes are stretching with him. Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, that's I'm not gonna expound on that anymore. But again, I don't have a lot of high hopes for this movie. I really don't. I hope Michael B. Jordan's career does not get tanked because of this movie, because he is a damn good actor. He just has not had the role to take him out there yet. You liked him in Chronicle. I didn't care for Chronicle that much just because it's that fine footage stuff. I just don't like that type of movie.
Ironically though, the guy that directed Chronicle is the guy directing this.
True.
That is probably, I wouldn't say one of the main reasons, but it had something to do with it because Michael B. Jordan was in Chronicle.
Yes.
Now he's in Fantastic Four. Both, there's a common factor. So, someone called somebody, was like, hey, can I get a part in that movie you're making? So go down the list real quick. Just go down the list. So again, we covered this in our first podcast, but just for y'all, episode 1, it's on YouTube now. Check it out. Miles Teller is Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic. He's the stretchy guy. Right off the top of my head, I know he was in Whiplash, and I know he was in Divergent. So check those movies out. He is actually a really good actor. He's kind of an up-and-comer. I know I've heard he's killed it in Whiplash. It's on my movies to watch list.
My only thing about him is just his face. His face doesn't age. You know what I mean? he's like constantly has a baby face.
Yeah,
but we'll see how he does.
You never know. I mean, who knows? I'm kind of like, they're all kind of younger people.
Yeah, they all
so
are.
they don't look, like when you watch the original Fantastic Four, you can tell that everyone had a little bit of age to them.
Yeah.
But, so, maybe they're trying to go in a different route. So maybe these guys are, kind of early 20s kind of people, which is fine.
Which is what they look like. They all look like that, and I believe that's how they're taking it.
So that's fine. Yeah, Kate Mara, she was in House of Cards, Shooter. She was in American Horror Story. Yeah. So she's Sue Storm, also known as the Invisible Woman. Another good actress. I think she's picked her parts probably poorly. I think Shooter was an okay movie. American Horror Story, the first season was really weird, but she killed it. I thought in that season.
Yeah.
I haven't seen House of Cards yet. I'm really backlogged on stuff to watch. So in case you haven't tell. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, as you stated, he was in Chronicle. He is also in something street where he's like in Subway.
Fruitville Station.
Thank
you. Great
movie. Movie. He's kind of an awesome up-and-comer. He's a good actor.
Yes.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. He is Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Now, for some of you might think like, oh, well, I'm looking at the pictures and they got the same last name, so they're like married. No, those are brothers and sisters. And yes, he's a brother.
They do explain that in that.
I'm getting to that because trust me, I noticed it.
Yeah.
So they are brother and sister. This is the first time they have casted a black guy as the Human Torch. Now, I know the black thing's been coming up a lot. I am not a racist, okay? I'm just pointing out the obvious. When he was casted, it was a big ordeal.
Yeah.
Everyone was up in arms. But my whole thought is this. It is 2015.
Get over it.
Get over it. Yeah, there are tons and tons of, there are people that are not, pure white. These characters were created in the 50s, the 40s. Actually, no, correction. Fantastic Four was created in the 60s in response to Justice League. And it was actually, that was how Marvel got into the superhero business, was with Fantastic Four. So, it was its era. Things change. I like the idea that he's black. I like the idea. Not because, he's a token black guy. No, he's going to be a lead in this movie.
He's going to be a leader in this
This is pushing that envelope to be like, these people don't have to be exactly what it is. Man of Steel, they changed Jimmy Olsen into Jenny Olsen. Now, they never actually called her Olsen.
No, they just called her Jenny.
So who knows? Maybe there might be an actual Jimmy in there. You never know. But still. Lastly, two more or three more really. You got Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm.
Yes.
He was in The Eagle with Channing Tatum. He was in Jumper with Hayden Christensen. And
he was also in King Kong with Peter Jackson. He's in Peter Jackson's King Kong.
He was a little camera kid.
No, he wasn't the camera kid. He was one of the deckhands.
That's right, yes.
He was one of the deckhands.
He was.
So he was in that too. And that's where I remember him from now. It's like, okay, he was Jimmy the little deckhand who's was trying to be like cool like the black guy. So anyway.
He's a good actor, I think. I think again he's maybe poorly selected some of his roles. He hasn't really had a chance to fully shine.
Yeah, called Man on the Ledge.
This movie is gonna hopefully be his breakout role because he's gonna be playing the most broken of all the characters. He's gonna be the character who's gonna be a basic rock. We're gonna get to the trailer here in a sec. Now, one way that I noticed that they've connected this. So if you watch the trailer, there's a very deep voice narrator, and that is none other than Reg E. Cathy. Now, some of you may know that name, some of you may not. He's been in a few big things.
He's always a supporting character. He hasn't really been starred in anything.
He's in Seven. He was in The Machinist. More importantly, this is the only damn movie I know him from. He was in The Mask. Now, try to turn back that time machine for you. In The Mask, he is the guy that tries to rob the bank. The Mask robs it first, gets shot, dies in the club while the Mask is entertaining Cameron Diaz. I just described the scene for you right there.
He also has a role in Oz. He plays in Oz as well.
Why do you keep referring to Oz? Nobody's seen Oz.
I've seen Oz, okay?
Oz is like 20 years old.
Yes. Leave me alone, damn it.
Anyways. So, again, if you look at him, he is that connection he is the dad of Sue Storm and Johnny Storm.
Yes.
So that is their connection.
Right there.
Black dad, white daughter, makes sense. That's why they get a black brother.
Yeah, and
so
he's also in The Wire. That's for my black people out there. The Wire. Y'all know what The Wire is, and if you don't know what The Wire is, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
See, there you go.
I haven't seen it, but I want to see it. That's the point. Is I want to see it. So, anyways, to kind of look at the trailer, it's very, very grimy, very dark. So you can kind of tell it just kind of keeps showing Reed Richards kind of trying to go through all these different projects. They don't necessarily get hit by cosmic rays. They actually
supposedly get teleported to another planet.
Yeah, to the negative zone or the negative dimension, which is a big deal.
I don't know where they're going with it yet.
That is a big thing in the Marvel universe. The negative zone or the negative dimension. That's kind of a thing in the Marvel universe, like comics Marvel universe, not the Marvel movie madness. But the Marvel comics universe, that's kind of a big deal. A lot of people, a lot of big villains come from that. So you're not impressed. To me, you can't go any further down. Really, you just can't. You can't go any further down. I like new ideas. I like where it's going. I don't know if you noticed. Ben Grimm don't have pants. Which
I noticed that.
And he kind of pops out of a boulder. Not necessarily.
It's like he was already it was like he was a rock and he was inside. It was almost like an egg.
Yeah, so he popped out of it.
He comes out of it. He's a lot rougher. He's a lot rougher looking, which I like that. I like the fact that he's rougher because, this guy's made of rocks. His whole body is a rock.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued by him. Johnny Storm still turns on fire.
Yes.
They just, original there.
And the thing is, they don't show you a lot of what these characters do.
No.
They show you the Thing. They show you Johnny Storm catching on fire. They don't show you Reed Richards' arm stretching out, but you see him stretch out for something, but you don't see his arm stretch, and you don't see the Invisible Woman disappear. You don't see her
disappear, but you do see a brief glimpse of a force field.
Yeah, you do.
So you know that she puts a force field up. Doctor Doom is in the movie. You don't really see him in the trailers, but he does talk.
Is that the guy that's laying down?
I assume. I don't actually know the actor. The actor is.
Who is the actor?
His name is the hell is it? You pass him?
Toby Kebbell.
Yeah, Toby Kebbell.
Let's see what he's been in.
He was in
Wrath of the Titans. He was in Dawn of Planet of the Apes. Okay.
He was a voice.
Okay.
He was Kova. He was Agenar. For anyone who actually watched Wrath of the Titans.
Rock and Roller. He was in Rock and Roller.
Rock and Roller. What was he in Rock and Roller?
Johnny Quid.
Oh, That's who he is. Okay.
And he is in one of the movies I consider just horrible is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
It could have been worse.
I know who he is now in Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Okay.
I do too. So yeah. So anyways, the thing about Doctor Doom in this movie is he's not actually like a menacing scientist. He's a hacker. From Latveria still. So how he plays into this movie, I don't really know. I know that you see a couple scenes with him where he like shoots out electricity or something. So the movie looks interesting. I'm intrigued. Again, this is a movie we're gonna see. We're gonna kind of play it out, see where it goes. But the trailer. It's technically called a teaser. They don't actually have the term trailer.
It is a teaser.
So the reason for that is probably they got some visual effects still that they got to put together. So they are probably just trying to give you an idea like, hey, here's kind of an idea what the story's going to be like. Here's an idea what the tone's going to be like. Yeah. We are not making a dorky camping movie. We're going to try to go as serious. They really stressed on the X-Men Days of Future Past. And I think they're they're going to show that movie was awesome. This movie is going to be awesome. I like the director. I like the cast. I like to see where it goes.
We'll see. Again, I don't have a lot of hopes for it. I don't hold a lot of high hopes for it, but we will see when August 7th, isn't it, right?
Yeah, August 7th.
We will see August 7th.
So, real quick, to kind of about midway through our podcast here today, so we're going to do another 101. With our 101s, if you do not know, 101 is either myself or Movie Master Jay. We pick a random topic. We try to answer a question that's maybe not common knowledge or something that neither one of us understands, and the other person answers it under the experts. I'm a big comic book, a little bit of movies and video games expert, and then a little bit of everything else. Jay, as you know, he's my sports guru, he's my movie guru, and he's my shoe guru. That's right, I said shoes. Today's 101's question is going to come from me to my sports guru.
Yes, sir.
So,
what would you like to know?
Super Bowl is coming up.
Yes,
that's around the corner.
And we live in Arizona.
That's
and
right.
we get to partake of all the festivities.
What festivities? I'm gonna be home.
Hey, there's a sneaker bowl, but that's my shoe stuff.
Sneaker bowl.
Yes, it's a shoe show. Okay,
I'm gonna save that for another 101.
Exactly.
So, there's some controversy with the Patriots, specifically. It's the Patriots versus Seattle, the Seahawks.
Yes.
So, I guess the Patriots cheated again? I mean, I don't know. I don't follow sports people. I just talk to Jay, and Jay gives me the rundown.
All right, people. Let me break it down for you. So, Patriots played the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship game. What the NFL found out was that 11 of the 12 footballs that the Patriots were scheduled to play with in the game were a pound and a half below the required minimum air in a football for each game and during the game. That's the controversy. So what's been happening is that before this game started, head referee supposedly signed off on all these footballs saying that they're ready to play, they're ready to go. And then all of a sudden at halftime, when they came out to play again, afterwards, these footballs were a lot lighter, or a pound and a half lighter than the normal football should be. Now, a lot of you guys are sitting there like, oh, wow, it's just a pound and a half. It's not that very much. Then you don't know football. You don't know sports. Sorry to put it to you like that, but that's how it is. So
they knew sports. They wouldn't be coming to you for advice.
Shut up. So this is what happens. When you have a football that has that much less air in it, it's easier to grip for the quarterback. It's easier to actually catch, too. And it's easier for a guy to hold on to that ball. They didn't even know this was going on. The referees didn't even think about anything about this until one of the Colts players intercepted the ball. He wanted to keep the ball. And it's like, wait a second, why is this ball so much lighter? Why does this ball feel so different? Why is this ball so squishy? That's when it first raised eyebrows. Okay, so now the NFL has been investigating this for over 2 weeks now, trying to figure out who deflated these footballs. How did it happen? Who did it? And I'm gonna tell you right now, the NFL, y'all are some assholes, flat out. That's exactly what y'all are. y'all are taking this thing to a level that doesn't need to be taken to. Y'all are investigating this thing like it's, like it's a murder that happened of a mobster, and it's just all secretive. There's no reason in the world it should take you 2 weeks to figure out how these damn balls lost 1.5 pounds of air. Y'all are trying to say, oh, it was the weather conditions. That don't make no damn sense, because the Colts were playing in the same environment, same type of footballs. None of their footballs were flat. None of their footballs lost air.
So wait, each team has their own set of footballs?
Yes.
They don't play with the same ball?
No.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Each team does not. They don't play with the same football. No.
So it's not been confirmed.
No.
I did read that if the Patriots were found to have been deflating the balls, they would lose a draft pick, which big fucking whoop. They have a star team anyways, and they get fined like a little bitty money. Like $250,000, which is a lot of money for normal people, but for a football franchise, that's like
$1 in our pocket.
That's like buying a soda, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think they did it?
Yeah, I think they did it. They cheated before, and they'll cheat again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they've done it. I mean, I should hold Tom Brady in a higher respect because he played at Michigan and he was a good quarterback for Michigan. But you know what? He don't play for Michigan now. He don't give a damn thing back to that school. So, fuck Tom Brady. I don't care. I don't like Tom Brady. I just don't. If y'all don't like it, too bad. I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like Russell Wilson.
And that's the bottom line
because Jay said so.
Because Jay said so.
Yeah, I don't like Russell Wilson either. So I'm purely watching this game just for my pure sports entertainment purposes. I could care less really who wins it because I don't like either team.
I'm just watching it because there's free food.
Oh man! So the one-on-one, Deflategate. Like I said, they're taking it way too far. I'm just done with it. You know what? If someone just needs to step up and say, "Look, I did this shit. I deflated the footballs, and let's go on with this." And that's another thing too. That's another thing about it. Now they're holding a person of interest. A person of interest who was some type of locker room attendant, and he took the balls to some other room right before they got on the field. So what happened? We don't know. And like I said, the NFL is taking too much time. And they're not going to, even if they aren't found guilty, or even if they are found guilty, it's not going to be a big penalty to them because, first of all, Robert Kraft, who is the owner of the Patriots, is good friends with Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL. So it really doesn't matter. Who cares anymore? Let's just play this damn football game, go on to the combine, go on to the draft. The combine is where the college players get to come and actually show their skills before you even look at me with that look about what the hell is the combine. The combine allows the college players to come out and show their skills and show how they're tested on certain little drills and stuff for teams to score them at, and then they can actually take that information and depict how they would like to draft them. And then after that, we'll go on to the NFL draft, and let's just leave it at that. Let's play some football and get it over with.
So now that you've gotten off your little shoebox, little shine box. Other news happened this week. Some big news with DC. Marvel's been kind of hogging the headlines lately, and thankfully, 2 actors that are confirmed for the Justice League came out and kind of talked about the characters a little bit. So, I'll give you the choice. Which one should we talk about first?
Let's talk about Aquaman.
Aquaman. For those of you who don't know who Aquaman is, he is the king of Atlantis. Can talk to he can communicate with fish. Does not talk with fish.
No, he can
because into the new comics, fish don't actually have the brain capacity to communicate. He basically tells them what to do. Also, he has super strength. He can, he's kind of got some invulnerability because he can go underwater for very deep pressures. Mm-hmm. His skin's very hardened by that. Anyways, kind of on the Aquaman fanboy train. I have a lot of respect for that man. So Jason Momoa came out at I think it was at a con or a Sundance. And a woman came up and was like, "Hey, I'm a really big fan of Aquaman." And so he was just kind of telling her, he's like, "Look, just FYI, Aquaman's not going to be the Aquaman that you see in the comics. He's not going to be blonde.
No.
Confirmed, not blonde.
He said he's not going to be blonde.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what Aquaman looks like, go to Google and search Aquaman. Plenty of pictures. All pretty much look the same. He's got green pants, green hands, a little orange scaly vest, blonde hair. Now
he looks like Ryan Gosling. That's exactly what he looks like.
A little bit. Biggest thing that you'll notice for the newer version of him is that he definitely has a more masculine, more kind of pretty boy look. Back in the 90s, which if you wanted to see, he's got a hook for hands, got like kind of an armored gauntlet area. Let's see if I can find a decent picture of that. That's his 90s look. People are wondering, since Jason Momoa has been really popular in the world of...
he's been really popular in the barbarian world.
Yeah, so people are wondering maybe he's going to go maybe that 90s look without the blonde hair, where he's got that kind of like old school look with
more gritty, more rough, more...
Exactly. Now, that one has him with long hair, got him with a beard, that's kind of like that. He's got a hook for a hand, which is nuts. He's kind of gone away from the orange thing altogether in some of his older looks.
Yeah.
So, again, a little bit different. How do you feel about that?
I think it can work. The reason I think it can work is because they've taken your Batman and your Superman and they've made them grittier, grimier, and a little bit darker. You know what I mean? They haven't made them as colorful as a comic book, is what I'm saying. I think it's going to work. I think it gives I think that brings in the audience more because it makes it more like a real person. Okay. I think you can attach a realism to it more. Because I mean, we're talking about Batman. We watched the Christopher Nolan series. That grabbed everybody's attention because it was more realistic based. You know what I mean? Yeah, he had all these cool gadgets and toys and all this, but it wasn't like they just came up all of a sudden. He knew a smart guy. He was a smart guy. He built this stuff, and he made you believe that he could do that. Mm-hmm. Christian Bale did that. Henry Cavill, great as Superman and Man of Steel. Loved him in that. Yeah, you had your regular blue, regular red cape and everything, but you know what? They showed him being a greenhorn on the decks of a fishing ship. Looking like something out of Deadliest Catch. Yeah. So that gave you that more grittiness, more realness. They showed him getting out of the water, stealing clothes. Him just working, being a regular guy. Yeah. He gave you more realism that way. Zack Snyder did a great job with that. Loved it. And I think they're going to be able to do that as well with Aquaman. I actually like Aquaman like you do. I have a lot of respect for Aquaman because I did a little survey online about which DC comic character you would be, and I came up as Aquaman.
Of course you did.
So I'm like, yeah, I could be Aqualad, yay, just like in Young Justice. All right, good for me. And I actually know how to swim, and I'm black people, yes. Black people can swim. Leave us alone.
So, a lot of black references in this show.
Yeah, this is a very...
If nothing else, I get the black community to listen to this damn thing.
So...
here's my thing. I haven't seen a costume. I was unsure on the Batman costume and some of the things I heard until I actually saw the picture. I actually really liked it. The Aquaman costume, my issue is one of the things I loved about Man of Steel, that's kind of starting a lot of this DC universe, is that the Superman outfit is very alien. It doesn't look like something you see on Earth. No, obviously a human being created it. But that's not really like something a normal human being would create on purpose. Like, it's very alien. It's very different looking. So the fact that they're getting away, I kind of want that orange vest. I kind of want that dorky green pants. And the reason why I say that, it could be a little bit more muted colors, kind of like Superman's is. The reason why I like it is because he's from Atlantis. We don't know what Atlantis people dress like. Yeah. Atlantis people dress probably like the Reef. They probably dress a little bit more colorful. So I want something different, something alien. I don't want to see like this weird sailor-looking guy. The blonde hair, you can get away with the blonde hair, but I definitely want that orange vest. I want that orange scaly armor. I think that thing looks good. And definitely, at least, green something. Maybe not green pants per se. Maybe he has something else going on. I don't know. So we'll see.
We will see. We will see. I'm like you. I would take a more muted, not as bright as and bold. I mean, they're even doing it with Wonder Woman. You know,
yes.
look at the woman. Look how Gal Gadot looks in the Wonder Woman outfit. You know, and it looks really nice. It looks good on her. Mm-hmm. I was a little worried about her because I saw her in the Fast and Furious franchise, and I'm like, damn, she's skinny as hell. How the hell is she going to play Diana? You know,
and she's supposed to be getting even a little bit bigger.
Yeah, she needed to, man. I mean, hell, she needed a sandwich or something in the Fast and Furious in that franchise. So hell, I'm impressed with what I've seen so far with Batman v Superman. You know, I was a little reserved when I first saw the first images of Ben Affleck with the cropped ears, and I'm like, okay, it's grown on me. It's grown on me. So
mainly because I just keep hassling you.
But I'm still holding out judgment on him.
Yeah. So anyway. So bigger news again, as we talked. The Flash, Ezra Miller, I think.
Ezra Miller.
He came out and kind of talked about his character a little bit. Nothing really too big, but he did kind of discuss, like, I was out in Costa Rica, I was kind of chilling. My agent calls me, says he's got Zack Snyder on the phone. And Zack Snyder's like, hey, I got this great idea you should be Flash. And I guess he was really excited, and Ezra Miller was like, totally blown away. So he was offered the part. It's not like Ezra Miller went into an audition and was like, oh, I'm the Flash. Something about what Ezra Miller did in his movies. I don't know why everyone sounds like that to me. I'm the Flash. Zoom.
Now you sound like Sheldon.
I'm hoping, based on what he's been in, Barry Allen, who this Flash is supposed to be, but who knows? Maybe he's Wally West, which is another Flash.
Yeah.
Maybe he's known to be he's scientific, but he's also kind of he's very hyper, but he's also very social. He's a very nice guy.
I.e. Young Justice.
Young Justice, exactly. So I'm wanting that character. Again, I don't have any prepositions on how this movie's gonna go. I just want to see Justice League movie. I do. Like, to me, the Avengers movie was a big deal because it set up all those characters beforehand. To me, DC's Justice League doesn't need to be set up. People know who the Flash is. People know the name of the Flash. People know what Wonder Woman is. They know what Aquaman is. So they don't need to be pre-set up. People just need to see them on screen, and people are like, holy crap, Justice League. I truly believe that because DC Comics characters, I think, are more embedded into people's minds without realizing it. They know more about those characters.
Think so?
I think so. Maybe not so much anymore.
I'm just asking.
Because Marvel has definitely been good about pushing more characters. People know who Thor is. People know who Iron Man is now because of the movies. But I think at one time prior to those movies, people knew who these characters were. People didn't know who Iron Man was. Iron Man was basically a C-list character for a very long time. He was never a premium grade character prior to those movies. Same thing with Thor. He was kind of a B-grade guy. I mean, he was popular, but, Hulk was kind of the most popular, and that was because of the TV show. You got Spider-Man. Captain America's popular because he's just the living
Captain America.
He's the living embodiment of patriotism.
He's a flag, okay? He's a walking, talking flag.
Nobody knew who the hell Hawkeye was. That's why they don't even call him Hawkeye in the movie.
They still don't know who Hawkeye is, and they won't know who Hawkeye is.
Is that the guy with the bow and arrow?
Is that guy that shoots some arrows all the time, be hitting people's?
He's somebody. The popular. I just don't see. So yeah, I mean, obviously DC can handle their archers a little bit better. Arrow's getting really popular. Flash, the TV show, is their biggest hit right now. Flash is talking. They're talking about bringing Adam, who is basically DC. It's another character that can miniaturize just like Ant-Man. So they're definitely starting to feud, but because they're feuding, that's why it's the best time to be a comic book fan. Because right now, all these different movie studios are trying to get on top and be the best comic book movie. So it's pushing them to be better. That's why Fantastic Four is coming out. That's why Daredevil's going to Netflix. That's why. There's a Miss Marvel movie. There's a Luke Cage Iron Fist movie coming around. So for those of you who don't know, Daredevil is a blind lawyer who's basically like Batman, but he's blind, so he has like super senses. He does all these flippy stuff, and he beats up people in Hell's Kitchen. people don't know who Hell's Kitchen is, you won't come out of that alive, or at least with any money.
No,
at night. No,
you don't come out walking straight in Hell's Kitchen. Okay,
you just don't walk out. Period.
Yeah.
You just crawl.
Basically, if you're in Hell's Kitchen at nighttime, run.
Yeah, hide.
Yes,
hide. Just don't even run.
Yes.
Then they can see you. So yeah, this Daredevil, Miss Marvel is kind of like Wonder Woman. I don't want to say that specifically because I don't know too much about her. She's kind of a lot like Wonder Woman. She's like this super powered woman.
To me, she's more like Supergirl.
Maybe Supergirl.
I don't know, but we'll see.
Look her up.
We'll see.
Then you got Luke Cage and Iron Fist. This is probably my biggest excitement next to Daredevil when it comes to that Netflix series.
I don't know those guys.
So Luke Cage has the worst superhero name ever. His name is Power Man.
Oh, is that Power Man?
That is Power Man.
That's Power Man.
He wears like a yellow shirt and some sunglasses, and that's his costume. That's his costume. He is like literally the embodiment of a bouncer, basically.
I know who Power Man is. I didn't know his name was Luke Cage. I did not know that.
He is a superhero who has super strength and is invulnerable, and that's about it. But he is best friends with Iron Fist. And why, for some reason, I can't seem to think of his name. Iron Fist is someone who has literally this like martial art ability to channel his inner spirit into his fist and make it as strong as iron, and he can punch things really hard.
You know, they touched on both of those characters in the Disney version of Spider-Man.
Oh, the Spectacular or the Ultimate?
I don't know. Whichever one was coming on Disney XD, I can't remember which one it was.
On Disney XD, but
I think it's the Ultimate Spider-Man
as them as recurring characters.
Yeah, they have Power Man and that guy. I think they got
Danny Rand is his name. Yeah, I actually really like that show. Those are two good. That's a show right now. Excuse me. Check out an episode of the Ultimate Spider-Man. That'll probably give you your best spectrum of who those two characters are.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot of coming out. Yeah. In terms
so they're definitely fighting.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling to get up there. They're making an X-Men Apocalypse movie.
Yes.
Which has been confirmed.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard. It's been confirmed that old people will not be making an appearance in X-Men Apocalypse. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are not going to be in there, probably because they might die, because they're as old as dirt. Actually, I'm pretty sure they pre-exist dirt.
I'm really disappointed now. So
why?
We're going to continue on. Well, that's going to be a topic for another show.
We'll just discuss it now.
No, we're not going to discuss it now because I want to stay on the DC kick.
I'm going to stay on the DC.
I want to stay on the DC kick because one of my favorite characters is scheduled to be rebooted in 2020. Green Lantern. It's scheduled to be rebooted in 2020. Okay.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. One of my favorite characters is scheduled to be rebooted in 2020. Now, there's been one man who's been campaigning on Twitter and on Facebook to play Green Lantern, and he needs to stop doing that.
Really? You don't think he should do it?
I do not believe Tyrese Gibson, yes, Tyrese Gibson, the man who started singing on the Coke bus, who's been in the Transformer movies, who played Joseph, and Jody, or whatever you want to call him, in the movie Baby Boy by John Singleton. He wants to play the Jon Stewart version of Green Lantern. Hell no. You are a thug. That's what you play, are thug roles. Do not try to play a man like Jon Stewart. It's beyond your realm. You can't do it. The person I would like to see playing Jon Stewart, and I don't know if you know who he is, but his name is Russell Hornsby. He's actually the partner to David Giantoli on Grimm. Russell Hornsby.
Making stuff up.
Yeah, shut up.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Now you know who he is.
No, I really don't. I still don't know who he is.
But Russell Hornsby has always played, supporting roles. But I believe he is the spitting image of what Jon Stewart should look like. He has the voice to play Jon Stewart, and he has the build to play Jon Stewart. Tyrese, no. Stop it. Stick to driving cars and Fast and Furious. Stick to being a thug and a comic relief for Fast and Furious. because you are not ready to take on the role of a superhero. You're not a superhero. Period. Stop it.
Let me take that shoebox away from you now. So I actually kind of disagree with you. I think Tyrese could do a good job as Jon Stewart. Now, I'm not saying he might blow us away, but the thing about Jon Stewart is he was a Marine, so he's going to be very cold and emotionless, and I think Tyrese could pull that part. I think his thug could work because you could kind of show a Jon Stewart prior to him joining the Marines where he's a little bit thuggish, where he's a little bit more unorganized, joins the military, goes to the Marine Corps, comes out of the Marine Corps, bam, he gets a ring. Boom. I think that would be such a more interesting character. I really do. I think Tyrese has a lot of gimmick. Now, I'll tell you right now, prior to Chronicle, or, I guess, technically I saw Fast and Furious before I saw Pitch Black, but I thought Vin Diesel was a thug kind of character. But he showed me in Pitch Black he can kind of play a more serious, darker character. Hell, even Vin Diesel might be an interesting character to have as Jon Stewart.
Vin Diesel would be an interesting character to have as Jon Stewart. I would actually prefer Vin Diesel.
I'm just saying,
because Vin Diesel can play a military guy. He really can. But Tyrese, no. Because you weren't a good military guy in Transformers. In the third one, you weren't even in the military anymore.
I'm just saying, I think it could be interesting. I think it could sell well.
If I gotta hear Tyrese say "bruh," no, he's gonna throw a "bruh" in every single one of his damn movies. Okay,
Samuel Jackson does. He always throws a motherfucker in.
Yeah, but he's different. That's Samuel Jackson.
Jackson.
Samuel Jackson can throw a motherfucker in there because the roles that he plays deserves the word motherfucker. No, Jon Stewart does not deserve the word "bruh." What you doing here, bruh? What you doing here, bruh? Hey, bruh, we hungry, bruh. We hungry. No.
Okay, it's a possibility. I mean, there's a lot of others. I would still love to see Idris Elba. He's too old, but oh man, he would be such a good Jon Stewart.
Idris Elba would be a good Jon Stewart.
Really cool though, if Idris Elba could pull out. Idris Elba could be a great Martian Manhunter. Idris Elba could be a great Martian.
Yes, he could be a good Martian. The problem is that he was in Thor, and who knows if he's ready to cross genres like that.
Probably not. Idris Elba would be a great Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is the last Martian from Mars.
Yes.
He could stretch. He's basically Superman with a couple extra powers.
Yeah.
Look him up. But that's going to probably conclude today's wisdom from your host, Zach.
And Movie Master Jay.
Again, thank you so much for nerding out with us. Remember, there's always a little nerd in you. Feel free to like, subscribe, share this with your friends, get this out to the world, and start nerding out. Once again, thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend.